Egon Schiele, Style and Legacy. Jane Kaller has described Schiele's work as grotesque, erotic, pornographic, or disturbing, with a focus on sex, death, and discovery. He focused on portraits of others as well as himself. In his later years, while he still worked often with nudes, they were done in a more realist fashion. From a young age, Schiele drew with a manic fluency. Art critic Martin Gayford wrote in The Spectator, Schiele found his distinctive style very early. His entire oeuvre is that of a young man. Most of the work in the first of the two rooms of this densely packed little exhibition dates from 1910 to 1911, when Schiele, 1890 to 1918, was just 20. That helps to explain some tendencies, a half-disgusted preoccupation with sexuality and a similarly queasy fascination with examining his naked self. The male figures mainly seem to have been modeled by the artist, though it is hard to be certain since the head is often not included. Kaller and scholar Gerald Eisenberg regard Schiele as fluid in sexuality and gender. Kaller says Schiele was struggling with his own sexual feelings and gender norms during a historical period of shifting gender expectations, the early women's movement, and criminalization of homosexuality. Some critics in the 21st century read his artwork as queer. A less-known fact about Schiele's career is that, during his studies at the School of Arts and Crafts in Vienna, he explored sculpture and created a number of small-scale clay and plaster sculptures. Schiele was the subject of the 1980 biographical film Excess and Punishment, aka Egon Schiele, Excess und Bestrafung, originating in Germany with a European cast that explores Schiele's artistic demons leading up to his early death. The film was directed by Herbert Vesely and stars Matthew Carrier as Schiele, Jane Birkin as his early artistic muse Wally Newsel, Christine Kaufman as his wife, Edith Harms, and Christina van Eyck as her sister, Adele Harms. Also in 1980, the Arts Council of Great Britain produced a documentary film, Schiele in Prison, which looked at the circumstances of Schiele's imprisonment and the veracity of his diary. In 2016, another biographical film was released, Egon Schiele, Death and the Maiden, German, Egon Schiele, Tod und Mädchen. Joanna Scott's 1990 novel Arrogance was based on Schiele's life and makes him the main figure. His life was also depicted in a theatrical dance production by Stefan Mazurek called Egon Schiele, presented in May 1995, for which Rachel's, an American post-rock group, composed a score titled Music for Egon Schiele. For the Featherstonehaus Contemporary Dance Company, Leah Anderson choreographed the Featherstonehaus draw on the sketchbooks of Egon Schiele in 1997. Glenn Hansard, lead singer of Irish band The Frames, said, of writing the song Santa Maria, with Santa Maria, I was trying to write a song about Egon Schiele, and about him and his girlfriend, while they were both dying from Spanish flu. The novel The Flames, Doubleday, 2022, by the British author Sophie Haydock blends fact and fiction to tell a story of Schiele's four most significant muses. The book was named one of the best historical fiction novels of 2022 by The Times. The Italian translation, Lu Fiamme, Salani, 2023, won the Premio Letterario Eduardo Kilgren Award for a debut novel in 2024. Schiele's life and work have also been the subject of essays, including a discussion of his works by fashion photographer Richard Avedon in an essay on portraiture entitled Borrowed Dogs. Mario Vargas Llosa uses the work of Schiele as a conduit to seduce and morally exploit a main character in his 1997 novel The Notebooks of Don Rigoberto. Wes Anderson's film The Grand Budapest Hotel features a painting by Rich Pellegrino that is modeled after Schiele's style which, as part of a theft, replaces a so-called Flemish/Renaissance masterpiece, but is then destroyed by the angry owner when he discovers the deception. The cover of David Bowie's 1979 Lodger album is inspired by Schiele's self-portraits, and an image of Schiele appears on the cover of the 2013 single, The Stars Are Out Tonight. Julia Jordan based her 1999 play Tatiana in color, which was produced off-Broadway at the Culture Project during the fall of 2003, on a fictionalization of the relationship between Schiele and the 12-year-old Tatjana von Moosig, the Nullenbach girl whose morals he was ultimately convicted of corrupting for allowing her to see his paintings. The opening chapters of Guy Mankowski's 2017 novel An Honest Deceit were cited to be heavily influenced by Schiele's paintings, in particular his portrayals of his sister, Gertrude.